Show us your tips. Melbourne Cup Preview Show. Beaver, how are you?
Very good, thank you, Adrian. Or Daggy,
Daggy.
as you're better known.
Yes, occasionally. We'll get straight to our special guest. So what we've done tonight is there's lots of preview shows out there for Melbourne Cup. We see them all runner by runner and this, that and the other and what it all means. We thought we'd solve the world's problems as I agenda do and come to the pub and work it out.
Yes.
So I've called in my favourite pub confidant from the Footy and Frothies podcast to help us out. Barney, what's going on?
Yeah, we've solved a few problems down here. I don't know how big they were on the world scale, but
Big on your scale, mate. That's the main thing, right?
We've created a few too, just quietly. But anyway, that's a different story.
Probably more than yourself.
Exactly. So what we're going to do here is hopefully run through every runner, have a bit of a chat and see what we think and where we're headed for Tuesday.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Great that the cup is around again and pretty ordinary field, to be honest. But there's a winner there and we're going to find it and hopefully something for the punters there.
I hope so. I just quickly want to mention before we get into it fully, I want to just give a plug to Kick Up Racing, kickup.com.au for everyone, all your mates or your colleagues that want to have their 1 week a year where they get their virtual signals on and want to tell us how bad racing is, to send them to kickup.com.au. They've dispelled lots of myths and fake stats and all sorts of things over they've just launched, but a lot of the bullshit you see on social media, they're going out of their way to dispel it. So check it out and steal some of their stuff and share it on your posts and feeds and hopefully gets a bit of traction and we can create some better knowledge around the racing industry in general. But also we need to plug progroupracing.com.au and get the business out of the way first.
There is no myth, Daggy. They haven't expelled the myth that me and you tip winners, have they?
No, they have not. So we've gone all right. Again, we had a pretty decent day yesterday. How'd you finish up?
In front.
Yeah,
I had a quiet day. Took it easy early and flashed home late. I wish I win. I was on, and that was, I think, my roughie of the day.
It was your roughie of the day. Asphira was a very nice finish as well.
That was your best of the day, wasn't it?
It was good all the way around. So we even made a little case for Manzois, I believe, in the preview, but we'll save all of that for the actual preview show, which will follow this. We'll be in fine form by the time we get to the full preview. But anyway, we've got to talk about the Lexus Melbourne Cup, which obviously is at Flemington. The rail's in a 2 metre mark. Going to be cold and wet. I believe it wasn't too bad today, so about a soft 6 track. The track played really well, better than the forecast heavy yesterday. So we'll see how that all pans out. Let's start and see how we go. We'll kick off with the top weight.
3 o'clock start, 3,200 metres.
I'll write that down.
Don't want to miss it.
All right. Perfect time for picking the kiddies up. But anyway, that won't be my problem tomorrow. We kick off with the top weight Gold Trip, 57.5 kilos. Mark Zara, the Mar Eustace team. Beaver, how's it going this prep?
Look, it's been consistent, this prep, and has run some nice races. Steps out to 3,200 here with 57.5 for a horse that I don't think it's won in a while.
It's won one race at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. And over 3,200 for the first time. One race from 15 starts, not for me. I can't believe it's $14. It's unders.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. It's
Okay.
unders.
What do you make of it, Mark?
yeah, exactly the same, to be honest. As Beaver said, coming in with one win out of your 15 career starts. Never gone too close to the distance either, and it's going to be carrying the top weight in the Melbourne Cup. It's going to struggle. I dare say it will struggle over the last 400 to 600 metres in this race.
Fair enough.
What did Daggy Beaver carry to win this race?
58.5, I think.
Yeah, right.
Someone tell me I'm wrong there, but
this
I feel
horse
like it's not.
Yeah, this horse has got to carry. It's not
Well, let's
57.5.
before we go into this, let's just. I know
57.5. It should have 53.5.
I know there's some horses down in the weight tier, but this isn't not a strong Melbourne Cup either.
No.
I want to make the case for it because I went back and thought the same initially, but I think it's going cool. I thought it was almost a run of the race in the Caulfield Cup. It was fantastic. I think it actually just hit the lead and floated at the end there. They put blinkers on next start into the Cox Plate and then just had no luck, cut back to the inside. It was actually quite a good run in a I guess, which is more effectively a tick-over trial. I think it's a live chance. I think they've bought it for this race, set it for this race, and I think it's alive. The wet is a tick, and I do think in a weak field I'm going to entertain it. So I'll go out on a limb there and put my head on the chopping block, which is where it lives most of the time, just us right over there. Anyway, we've got Dewis up next, Hugh Bowman, Ed Cummings. Going no good this prep.
Yeah, going no good this prep. You know, last prep was like a horse that you just wanted to be following, but it's shown nothing this preparation and would have to jump out of the ground to obviously win this. Again, probably at $23 under the odds, given the way its form's been this preparation. Yeah, look, I couldn't have it at $23.
It's felt like, and I know it pulled up lame in one of those races. It felt like it's been almost a run behind every race this prep, and I've just sort of been underwhelmed by it. I know it's crossed the line with a few other chances here, but happy to take it on. Barn, any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely no interest for me whatsoever. It's been, good 6 months, I think, in my opinion, since it's done anything half decent on the track. So,
yep. Knight's Order, number 3. Tim Clark for the Waterhouse Bot team. Interesting runner here. So in terms of a map, all the pace is drawn out wide. The map I had, we'll get to it officially at the end, but I have it sort of tracking across with Serpentine and perhaps even pushing on and finding the lead here.
Yeah.
It's won a Sydney Cup, a Brisbane Cup. I don't know how many have done the treble. It's probably been a few years since they have. Is it a live chance here?
Probably big ask to come from gate 24 and lead all the way. That was my thinking. I think it's been going good this prep. I think it's got fitness on its side. All its runs have been good. You couldn't knock its runs, and they've all been in group company. So that's one positive for it. I just not sure that Knight's Order or any horse can come from gate 24, lead all the way, 55.5. It'd have to be in an outstanding run. It's not might and power,
Yep.
style.
yeah, I think it'll give you a sight for a fair way around the track, but yeah, I think it'll be weakening late. It may just, I think it's probably finished just out of the multiples and probably around the 6th, 7th mark. But
Yep.
This is a better horse than I thought it was when I set out to do this race. I think this is an underrated horse. The funny thing with the pace setup is it can become self-fulfilling in a way, in that everyone inside will know that Serpentine and whoever else is coming across, so they'll sit and wait. So it might get a slightly softer lead. I can't imagine being a soft lead because we know Melbourne Cup's all bar, your Prince of Penzance ones there a bit. There's a lot of pressure, so I can't think it a soft lead. I think it can run. I can see this giving you a sight.
It can run well.
And when a lot of horses are starting to drop off with 500 to go, it'll still be whacking away in front.
Whacking away, it will.
And if that's what you're after, this is perhaps one you can entertain here.
And it does handle the sting out of the ground.
And sting out perfect. It won a heavy 10 when it won over the 3200 last autumn. And I think it was similar up in Queensland. And running the Caulfield Cup was actually fantastic when I went back and watched it.
The other downside is that it has 5 starts at this track and hasn't run a drum in any of them.
Very, very hard track to, as we've said, lead from the outside barrier all the way across. Any final thoughts on it?
No, I've said what we've had to say.
Interesting runner here. Montefilia, number 4. Jason Collett, David Payne, 5-year-old mare. I've talked myself back into it a little bit here. Am I mad, Barn?
she's been one of my favourites for a very long time, but again, another one I can't see being strong enough at the back end of this race. I think they'd really need to put it asleep for a good 3/4 of this race for her to be able to figure in the finish. I think she's going to finish just outside those multiple numbers again.
Genuine chance for me. I think it's been given a good prep. Slightly disappointing 2 starts back when they backed it off the map, but Cascadian put it away, and Cascadian was flying, and it was a very, very heavy track there. So I was willing to forgive that, and its run last start in the Caulfield Cup was outstanding, got well out of its ground, and probably finishing one of the best in that field, to be honest. So I think that sets up for this, and horses that come from 16th, 14th on the turn and finish 4th in Caulfield Cups generally do run well in a Melbourne Cup. It is a good form line, that type of form for here. We know it's a good horse. Can it run the 3200? Time will tell. But gate 11's a good draw. It's got a good jockey aboard and 4th up this prep, so it has had the right preparation. So Montefilia definitely in my numbers.
I agree. And we're under the race in the Caulfield Cup, I think. And if you look at she's very elegant in this race. I think she's the best Australian train horse here.
Yep.
4-time Group 1 winner, has won a Metrop, a Ranvit, and a couple of the shitty 3-year-old races, Flight and whatever else, but did some good stuff, including beating Very Elegant over at Weight for Age last prep. And that, if you forget the Cascadian run, which Cascadian's absolutely flying, and I assume is coming down for Champions Day. We'll get to that later in the week. If you can be forgiving there, the other two runs have been great, and I agree with you. I think it's a live chance. I think it's the best of the local chances, and we'll be investing there. Number 5 is Numerian for Annabelle Neesham, Tommy Berry, on pacer. Stable tell us it loves the wet. I don't know if that's particularly played out a lot in terms of wins, but does get through it quite well. 70 to 1, going to be up there. Probably gets the right tag. Does have probably the closest inside draw of the on-pace runners, so should be able to cruise through and find a decent enough spot. That all being said, is there any interest in it?
Barn?
Absolutely nothing for me. It's probably running better than it has any time during its career, but I think it's out of its grade in this one.
Yeah, Sweet FA for me as well. Yeah.
2,000 metre horse in a 3,200 metre race.
Yeah.
We get to the internationals without a fight for Simon Ed Crisford. Buick on gate 18, 55.5. The more I look back through the replays, I got keen on this. Lightly raced stayer will eat up the 3,200, I think, and gets a great tag across from that pace from the outside. Should be able to find a running line position, I think. And was a nice resumption overseas and 2 very nice wins over 2,700 in June and July back there. I think this is a really live chance. And as we're going to get through this, I'm going to take the opinion that end of the day, this is a weak Melbourne Cup. So anything coming over here from overseas is going to be a red hot chance in this. So at the $11, $10, keen. Barn?
This will probably be my biggest play in the race, to be honest. From what I've seen, it's spent its entire career running up and around the distance, and it's done it quite well overseas. So as long as it's travelled well over here and it parades well on Tuesday, I'll probably be making a big play and putting this on top for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with Barn and yourself. I think it's a genuine proven stayer over the distance. It's got great form over in those tracks in group company. This is the type of horse that does come here to cups and runs well. I think it can run well. It's got the top European jockey on board. Buick is an outstanding jockey. Can win on a rocking horse. And so,
where was he on Saturday? How good was Jamie Spencer on Saturday? We'll get to that later.
This guy can ride. So
yeah, he can.
If he's on the right horse and this horse is right to go, it's a real live chance. And the weight's no problem. It's last start it carried 62.5, so it's got a 7 kilo pull in its weights there. So this is the lightest weight it's probably carried in a long time as well. Good chance. $10 about right.
Number 7, Kimura for the Hayes boys. Ben Mellon takes the ride, 55 kilos. 6-year-old gelding coming over from Ireland as well. I had this lined up as sort of the weakest of the international chances. But that said, it did win the Curra Cup, which Twilight Payment and Rekindling have come through the past as a lead-up. Resumption got beaten by some really good stayers, but in the Irish St Ledger, but didn't see a great deal I want to take out of it. Of all the internationals, the one I'm happy to go around, and looking at it's 50 to 1, so I suppose everyone agrees. Barn?
Yeah, exactly the same here, mate. I don't know very much about it, to be honest, apart from what you've just rattled off there, so I'll probably be leaving it well and truly alone.
You're on the same, except that sometimes these stayers, you might want to throw them if you're having a first 4 or something. You might want to throw
100%.
this in at 50s.
Yeah.
Because they can jump out of the ground, and these are the ones that tend to pop up. So I'm not overly keen on it to win the race, but I wouldn't leave it out of my multis, given that it's not a strong field and it's 50s.
Deauville Legend is number 8. Fits the profile. Karen McAvoy and John Ferguson. As I refresh my screen, fits the profile of the 4-year-old up and comer that comes over for this race, as does the one we'll get to later. Is favourite, forms on the board. How are you lining this up, Beaver?
Yeah, look, it looks to be the clear on top pick, right? If you're looking at the way the race is set up, you look at the quality of the horses here, and this is certainly a quality overseas stayer. It's lightly raced, four-year-old. This sets up perfectly for the Cup. It's drawn well in 9. It's got the right draw. McAvoy, we know, can ride a winner on Cup Day. I'm really keen on this. I think it's definitely in one of the serious live chances that I've got in my numbers. So good overseas horse, and obviously, unfortunately, Loft's out and its price halved once that happened, which makes $350 a little bit skinny in the Cup.
It won't be $350. You'll get $5-6. No
reckon?
Melbourne Cup favourite starts
What it is now.
what it is now.
Yep.
Because all the money's going to come in from everyone else. The exchanges will push out just as a result because the tote's so big.
Yep.
You'll get $5 or $6 for this, and at that price, it's about. I saw someone potting at the price. It won't be $350.
Yep.
I don't think Mackay Beaver in her last Melbourne Cup was $350. I could be wrong.
Yep.
She might have been.
We'll see.
You'd remember.
Close.
I was in high school.
It may well be that this field is so weak that happens, and
It'll take a lot of professional money
Yep.
to make this $350 on the day.
Okay.
I suggest.
Take your word.
I've been wrong before. Once about Ice Path. But let's not talk about it.
All right.
Barney.
Yeah, absolute deserved favourite, and the only reason I put it second as my the way I'm going to be sort of structuring my bets on the day is because of the price. So if it gets out to $5 or $6, it may become the biggest bet that I have on the day. So definitely an absolute live chance, and probably the one that I think will probably be winning the race. But just on price, I've gone with without a fight. So.
And Karen McAvoy, no issues in a Melbourne Cup.
No, absolutely no.
Money's
issues.
on, he'll be right. So,
If the money's on, he'll be right.
well, I shouldn't say it that way. Karen's a respectable jockey, riding for a big prize in a Melbourne Cup. What's he on, 2 now? 2 or 3?
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing in a horse like this.
In cups.
Stockman, the winner of the St. Ledger last month, or 2 weeks back, in fact, had a massive barrier trial run on Saturday behind Star of India. Inside gate, Sammy Clipperton, Joey Pride. Any chance here, Beaver?
Sneaky chance. Sneaky chance, Stockman. As you said, it was only a barrier trial on the weekend, and it was a nice little one. Finished off okay over the 2,000, carried 59.5, and hit the line okay, I thought. And the start before that at Randwick over the 2,600, it was never going to lose that race. And I was on it, so I was happy. 54 kilos, gate 2, it'll sit handy, and I think it can. Yeah, I'd throw it into me multis for sure.
Barney.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an each way bet. I think it's probably in some of its better form of its career to date, and I don't mind the way it has been finishing a couple of races recently. So yeah, I'd be having an each way bet on Stockman.
Not just at the stables, absolutely on fire at the moment.
Doesn't hurt.
So Joey Pride going well. I agree with what you said. I think one for your multiples that can potentially run to a 3rd or 4th if you're looking to play a wide first 4. That said, I can't see anyone with Arapaho form winning a Melbourne Cup. So don't think it's a winning chance, but definitely one that might still be bobbing away up on the inside over at the end of the trip. The 2019 winner, Vow and Declare, is back here. Blake Shin and Danny O'Brien. Barn. Any interest here?
Yeah, he's been mixing.
I believe you had an investment on it back when it won.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently everyone did but me. It's like everyone backed Prince of Penzance that year.
I didn't.
No.
Not everyone.
Neither did I.
But I did back round to Claire.
Definitely an interest. I think obviously form hasn't been great, especially in last year's Melbourne Cup after winning it in 2019. But you know that the distances, it can run the distance. It's I think the last 2 runs have been more of a warm up rather than trying to win the races that it was been placed in, and I think you'll see it flashing home again as it did in 2019. Maybe not win the race, but be up in that bunch at the end.
I actually think, 2 things in its favour. One, I think this is the best prep it's had since then. And it gets Blake Shin, who's probably the 2nd best jockey in Australia right now. Just to be controversial there. I think he's riding absolutely on fire, especially in Melbourne. Dan playing reserve grade down there with J-Mac. But I think this is a live first 4 chance. Do I want to back it? No. I think it's in its best form, has been, but it is 3 between wins, and that says something. So that's all we need to say about it. Anything you want to?
I was a bit the same. You're right. I think its last 4 starts have been pretty consistent and the best form it has been in. But as you said, been a long time since winning. So for me, again, if you haven't won for that long, 23s is under.
Ray, number 11, Damien Lane for Danny O'Brien again. Young Werther, the Tavistock 5-year-old. I woke up to a random message on Sunday morning. It just said Young Werther from Barney.
It was meant to have a crying face next to
it. Okay. Talk me through that. What was that about?
Send too quick.
It was meant to
Barney's gone too quick again.
It was meant to have a laughing emoji next to it because I can't see this getting anywhere near the top 15 in this race, to be honest. I think it'll be finishing well and truly at the back of the pack in this one.
No, Beaver, I'm expecting you to tip this inside.
I've given up, and that's probably
that's only 785 days too late. Yeah.
That's probably a danger, but I've given up, no chance, and makes me nervous. Yeah.
Why does it make you nervous? It's like it's the ex-girlfriend that's come back to.
He's taking the weight off the back.
That's right. Yeah, it's probably going to make a joke of me.
Fair enough. We're up to number 12, Craig Williams and the Waterhouse Bot team with Hu Yamal, another 4-year-old here, the only other 4-year-old in the race. Unless there be someone down the bottom. Come over with the international form again. We've spoken about that. Your opinion here, Beaver?
Yeah, interesting runner. Not overly keen on it. Can't even say the name, let alone back it. But look, it's in the market. It's bit fancy there, around the $16 mark. It's Waterhouse.
I can see this starting half the price because it's Waterhouse. Not half the price, but starting shorter.
Yeah.
I know the stable have an opinion of it. They're quite happy. They bought it for 1.2 million guineas, and they've got a wrap on it. It did cross the line, in fact, with the favourite a couple of runs back, and then it resumed on a track they said it didn't handle before coming here. So fits a profile for the last, 5 years. You want the 4-year-old up Northern Hemisphere 4-year-old coming here. He's always going to give you a sight. I will probably myself save on it. I can see this maybe being a Fiorente style where it has a run here, runs well, and then gets her claws into it for a year and gets it ready and cracking for next spring. But let's see how it stacks up there. Barn?
I agree with everything you guys have said. I know very little about this one. I've spent a little bit of time looking at it, but if it crossed the line in a bunch with Deauville Legend, then it's probably worth an each way bet at the price that it's at. So,
anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's certainly one for the multiples.
13, Serpentine. These colours know how to win a Melbourne Cup, that's for sure and certain. The 6-year-old son of Galileo for John Allen and Robert Hicknott and the Lloyd Williams team. Any interest, though, Barn?
Not from me. I'll be leaving it out well and truly.
Yeah, same for me. Improved run last start against Surefire, but nah. Thanks for coming aboard.
It does have the quick backup from Saturday, the on-pace blowout run, which is a big play for the Williams team.
Should have kept going on Saturday. Might have still won.
Yeah. What, just keep going for today?
Keep going for Tuesday, mate.
The pace is a concern. I think it's going to have Knight's Order breathing down its neck the whole way, and they might put both out of play, or it'll put it out of play. Would need to be an incredible, Twilight Payment style ride to do any better. Number 14, Dashwin Sweet Jr. Daniel Moore, Philip Stokes. Beaver, this is a horse you seem to be a fan of. What do you think?
Mate, not in this company, and just plotting this preparation. So I think it's got its work cut out for it here. It'll need a massive form turnaround, and, it whacks away. But, yeah, I can't see it winning this.
Did win the Adelaide Cup over 3,200 metres for those that want to look for that sort of thing. Then got spaced by Knight's Order over 32 in Sydney. Barn, any thought?
No comment from me, mate. As you said, has had some form over 3,200 metres, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere quick enough to get close to the winners in this one.
No, needs to lift. Needs to lift.
Grand Promenade for Harry from Gate 1. Mara and Eustace, lightly raced 7-year-old. Any interest from you boys?
The same as the last one, I think.
It's probably the way we're heading for the rest of this card.
Last
but that's
preparation, it was flying and leading and kicking and going well, but we haven't seen that form this preparation, which is a shame.
The best you can say is the inside gate perhaps helps here, and it may be bobbing away. But I've taken the opinion overall that anything that got smacked by Francesco Guardi at the Valley, I'm not considering here. So that's going to tick off a lot of these. Number 16 is Arapaho coming down from Sydney for Bjorn and Rachel King. Any interest?
No, well, Stockman beat it home quite convincingly, didn't it? Not that long ago, so I can't see it getting close to him. Probably go closer to last than first.
Did beat Francesco Guardi a few runs back over 2000. This is a solid Wednesday horse, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't see this figuring in this race. Lucky to have got a start, I guess.
Best of luck to Connections. Number 17, Emissary. Number 17, Emissary. 30-1, bolted in a Geelong Cup on a quite dry track. Loses beach in for Paddy Maloney. Inside gate for Mike Moroney. Did beat Surefire, who we saw win on Saturday. Any opinion, Barn?
No, not at all. Another one that I think will be in the last couple over the line.
Beaver?
I think I'll do a bit better than that. I don't think it's the worst in the world horse in this race.
I almost feel like if this was a dry, I think the dry is the key.
Yeah.
If this was a dry track, I'd be keen. I've got a feeling it might be because you saw the kickback on that dry. I thought Geelong was quite dry there.
Yeah, it was,
and that might be the key to it.
Yeah, and I thought its other runs were been okay, and it finished off like Geelong Cup form can be really good for a Melbourne
long time.
Cup.
It was the form.
Yeah, it was the form. So it's got a light weight. If it runs a distance, it could be whacking away at the end, and certainly one that I wouldn't leave out. So I'm okay with Emissary. I think it's not the worst bet in the world. I probably won't have any money on it, but if you liked it, go for your life.
Goes in my quaddy, put it that way.
Oh, you'll have 18 in your
That's
quaddies.
true. Will I have Luna Flare? No, I will not. Dad won this race a decade ago for Luna Flare. Number 18, Mickey D, Graham Begg. Comes through the Francesco Guardi form line, including winning Bart Cummins for a start here. Do we have any interest in this horse?
It whacks away, but not for me.
I'll probably put it in my multiples just as an outside bet, but yeah, I don't think it'll be winning.
I think it's unders at 19s. I think it should be more closer to the 30s or 40s like Emissary and those horses. I don't think it's any better chance than those.
As I've already said, I'm against the Francesco Guardi lead up, given how he got smacked by Francesco from Sydney, and maybe it's improved, but yeah, I'm happy to be against it and all the horses around it, including number 19, Smoke and Romans, started favourite in the Caulfield Cup. Some people said it was unlucky. I watched it back again today. I didn't really see it myself. Yeah, I might be wrong. Jamie Carr, gate 16, Mara and Eustace right stable. I feel like this is a very good 2,000-metre horse that almost didn't run the trip at the Caulfield Cup, and I can't see it run the trip at 3,200. My opinion, Barn.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, to be honest. I can't, nothing else that I can say that you haven't.
No, I'll be chucking it in. I didn't think it was unlucky in the Caulfield Cup, but I did think it got cluttered up. It didn't like being crowded, and then probably just chucked it in a little bit there. I think, and I did think it did get held up a little bit when it did want to make its run. Whether it would have won the race, don't know. But I wasn't ruling it out based on that run. I didn't think it was the worst run. I don't think it was the best run either. Others were saying, no, I probably should have won the race. Not so sure about that either. But I think it could have finished closer if it had a little bit more luck in running. And it wasn't the worst run out of the Caulfield Cup. So those horses, it was, before that it was going really well, and it was favourite for the Caulfield Cup for a reason. So I think around the $20 mark, $25, worth throwing in.
Number 20, Charlie Rose, gate 22, Dean Yendall for Simon Wilde. It's beaten home a grand total of 5 horses in his last 3 starts. Do we need to talk about this?
Nope.
Alrighty.
Good luck to Connections, wasn't it?
Number 21, Point Nepean.
And if you're going to back it,
Good luck
money's
to you
confetti.
Last time we said that, Ice Bath won in Group 1. But anyway,
I
Wayne
didn't say
Lord.
it was confetti.
Point to Pan's up next. Let's move on. Point to Pan. Wayne Lorden for Rob Hickmont and the Williams team. I think 6 months ago we would have had this well and truly in discussions.
Yeah.
Has it come back?
Hasn't come back. It's a shame because I would have had it in discussions. I like the horse. It was excellent last preparation and thought I tipped it first up this prep and it stopped like it was sniped and they never got the bullet out for the next race. So
We probably
still
should.
bleeding.
We're probably getting in trouble for talking about bullets on these shows. So. Yeah. Look, tricky one because it fits the mould. 4 starts from it'll be its 10th, 4 wins from its 10th start this time. This would have been its absolute goal from last May. Can I completely write it off? Maybe. Does get the perfect run on the back of the speed there, tagging across.
Nah, Daggy.
No good. Okay, Barney, can you make a case?
A completely different horse from its last preparation. At its absolute best, it could probably be one for the back end of the multiples, but I'll be leaving it out.
Number 23, High Emotion, actually got a little bit tangled up with this one here.
22.
22, sorry. Teddy Nugent for Mara and Eustace, winner of the Bendigo Cup, and a winner a few weeks back at Flemington. Comes through the Lunar Flare form line. Is there any interest at all?
A tad. A tad. I think it's going okay.
This is a tough horse.
Tough. It was a good win at Bendigo. And Port Phillip's not the worst horse in the world. And then before that, did finish behind Lunar Flare and didn't quite show much. So maybe not a tad.
Actually,
Maybe I'm just
what do you think?
idiot.
What do you think, Barn?
I think it's probably slightly overs. I think it could probably be around $25 to $28 rather than out the 35s and 40s. But it'll run around and finish midfield somewhere, I would imagine.
It piqued my interest in. I had zero interest when I started looking at this race, only because I did like to win at Bendigo. I have a bit of an opinion for Port Phillip. I think wet's the key. If it is a complete wet, it is going to be. It will give you a sight. Do I really want to back it? No. Do I back it? No. But am I scared of it? A little bit too. It's a hard. I haven't quite got my head around her of all horses, and what to do with her.
That was a little bit the same, like you just saw. Maybe.
And you know, there's always that. There's always that sneaky one that runs 3rd or 4th just to make the exotic
better than
pay
you
10
thought it was
grand.
gonna
And
be.
this is, I think this might be it. She might be the one. Down in weight, etc., etc.
No.
Number 23, Interpretation. Again, 5-year-old Galileo, Froggy, and Mara and Eustace. Been an absolute gunner all prep. Is he gonna?
No. It's not gonna.
Had enough?
Had enough of it. Had enough of it.
Apparently pulled up lame out of that Geelong race. I read here. Didn't get to that.
So
Lunar
what?
Flare, we're penning. Yep, has already been owned by High Motion. We can move on. Under the odds, actually, at 50s. So, and what do we do with the last? Damien Thornton for the Friedman team. Realm of Flowers. 6-year-old mare. It's now been 2 years between drinks, but was very, very brave in the Tats and very brave running 3rd, 3 wide in the Metrop scratch from Saturday to be safe for this. Is it a chance?
I think it's a chance. I think 11 to 1 is unders. I think it should be more 20s. But I still think it's a chance. As you said, it's been a long time since drinks, but it has run well.
This is a weird. It's one that
It's a weird.
It's a weird horse that's just spruiked. It's a horse that never wins, but everyone
Yes.
always tips it and spruiks it.
Yeah, it's not the worst horse in the world, and like back in October last year, ran 6 behind Grand Promenade, and flew home in that. So it has had an okay preparation here, and as you said, was brave, but 11s shows how weak this field is. I guess.
$26, I'd be interested. $11,
Yeah.
not interested.
Yeah,
Simple way I looked at it.
Yep, that's it.
It's a very good way to look at it, to be honest.
All right.
I think it'd be one that you want to keep in your multiples because I think it seems to be in better form than it has for a while, and it's one of those ones that could just jump up and bite you and make you miss if you leave it out of your top 4. But it'd be lucky to scrape into 4, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, Barn on our, for 30 weeks of the year, we set this table into a punning disaster class. We may as well do one for the Melbourne Cup as well. Who are we backing tomorrow, Beaver, and how are you going to spend money on maybe a trifecta and a first four to make some money for the day?
Yeah, my top 3 picks are number 8, Deauville Legend, number 4, Montefilia, and number 19, Smoke and Romans. And my boxed...
I'm surprised. You've fallen in love with Smoke and you're against it.
I just thought it was unders in the Caulfield Cup.
Yep.
It hasn't been a horse that
I did have the SP and everything.
Yeah, so I just thought it was unders and I was proven right there. But I wasn't disappointed with its run in the Caulfield Cup. I think it can still run well in this. My first 4, which I would box up, I would have number 8, Deauville Legend, number 6, Without a Fight, number 4, Montefilia, number 12, Hu Yamal, number 19, Smoke and Romans, number 10, Vow and Declare, and number 17, Emissary.
Barn, what are you doing on Cup Day?
As I mentioned, I think Without a Fight will be my top bet in this race. Deauville Legend is probably the deserved favourite, so you can't leave that one out either. And then I'll be coming back to probably Vow and Declare as my third best bet in this race. Just more on the price, and that it can come home. Whether it peaks, I'm looking for it. Obviously looking for it to peak in this race. Being set for it all year. My box first 4, I'm going to go with Without a Fight, Deauville Legend, Vow and Declare. I'm going to throw in Realm of Flowers, just because I think it might be one that you can't leave out. Hu Yamal and Montefilia.
Yeah, I've got Without a Fight on top as well. After it's all said and done, I think it will get through the ground. I think it's the best stayer. It's going to run well here from Deauville Legend. You get a better price and can back it. You've covered that off quite well. Montefilia, best Australian chances. And I am going to stick with Gold Trip. I think it's going quite well. The stable know what they're doing when it comes to grand final time. I think it's going to run well. In addition to those 4, I will add in Hu Yamal, Emissary, and Realm of Flowers, possibly High Motion, into my, it's about 8, into my first 4, and hopefully a few of them are whacking away at the end of the 3,200 metres. Good job, boys. Well done. It's our Cup preview. Beaver's nearly fallen asleep.
Not at all. You were just fucking boring me, mate. I don't even know what you said that last bit. You're just speaking an absolute gibber.
He's about to stick on because we're about to look at the rest of the card in the other show. We do this basically 52 weeks a year for midweek and Saturday shows. We've had a fair track record over the last 3 years in finding winners, Beaver. Paid off the paint of your house this week, which is nice.
I did it myself. How is that paying it off?
Well, you paid for the paint, didn't you? You create out of ochre or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, we're going.
More gibber.
This has been Show Us Your Tips. We're here all the time. We're going to do another preview show in a minute. Subscribe. Check out progretracing.com.au for everything you need to know up there. And we'll talk soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Beautiful.